Now we're almost done with this module. In the next course section, we'll make sure that the list is dynamically rendered and that we're really managing a dynamic array where we can add expenses. At the moment, this is not possible. But before we proceed to the next course section, I want you to practice what we learned in this module. And for that, I want you to add a new component. I want you to add this filter component here, which allows us to use a dropdown and set a filter. Pick the year 2019, 20, 21, or 22. Now, to build this component, you can use the styling and markup, which you find attached. Attached, you find the CSS file and you find a JavaScript file with the basic filter markup. You can use that because the challenge should not be the markup or styling, but instead the challenge for you is that you should listen to changes on that dropdown. And whenever the user does select a new state, does select a new year from the dropdown, so whenever the user does change the selected value, you should listen to that event, and you should then make sure that this picked year, which the user chose, this picked value, is in the end forwarded to the expenses component. You should also add the expense filter component in there. Simply wrap this card with a div and then add your expense filter component, which you're going to build next to this card. That's how you can do that for the moment. I want you to add this, and you should then forward the picked year from expense filter to this expenses component, and then here in the expenses component, store it in a state. You don't need to update anything yet. You don't need to filter the list of expenses yet because we haven't really learned how that worked. I just want you to listen to the change event, then forward the data to a higher level component, so to the expense component, and in that component, store it in a state. That's your goal. Of course, compare your solution to mine once you're done, but definitely try it on your own first.